It may not be good. And I was telling somebody earlier today, God knows the plans.
Yeah, that He has for me.
Exactly. And sometimes I may not be lining up with that because,
That's the truth.
like you said, we all got our stuff, and I don't know. I'm not perfect, and sin is what it is.
Yeah.
But if I embrace what God is doing for me and where He's leading me, then more than likely I'm going to walk in a certain way that some of that stuff is going to
Yeah.
begin to shake off. But I have to acknowledge that it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were saying something about like past relationships.
Yes.
And if we're not careful, let's say something shows up and it kind of resembles the past, but it's not really that.
Yes.
We can see what we want to see.
We see what we want to
And we
see.
can sabotage
Yes.
some things because we're still with that scar, like, oh, that looks familiar. Versus the discernment that God will give you
Yeah.
that says, okay, you need to let that go.
Yes.
And so it's trying to stay positive in that. It really is an effort.
It's an effort. And I think the way I like to describe it sometimes is we put on these lenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so every relationship that I've had changes the color of the lens, or it adds to the color of the lens. And so if, what is it? And I may be, I'm not going to paraphrase it. I am, but it might not be in the correct context. But what it says is, I see through a glass darkly, right? So how do I see clearly? But I've got to change the lens. But and if you bring Christ into it, then I've got to put on the lens of Christ, and not the lens that I choose to see.
Yeah.
Because you're right. If I don't put on the correct lens, then I'm going to mistake what is good.
Yes. For what's not.
For what's not.